Empty shelves, closed shops, petrol stations without petrol. The Delta variant paralyzes the economy in parts of Great Britain. But not only that, Brexit too. Is Germany threatened with a similar scenario with rising numbers? The British print newspaper Metro, with the highest circulation, describes the current situation in England as the worst food shortage since the war. Shelves stay empty, garbage cans fill up. Petrol was running out at some petrol stations. For example, the oil company BP closed some plants due to bottlenecks. The highly contagious Delta variant of the coronavirus is throwing the UK into chaos. The British food company Ranjit Singh Boparan said in the British media that the already existing labour shortage in conjunction with the pandemic is bringing the industry to a crisis point. Lisandra Flach, head of the IFO Centre for Foreign Trade, also observes this. With Great Britain, the Delta variant hits a country that has already struggled with several delivery bottlenecks, she explains when asked by T-Online. These were caused by Brexit and the newly introduced trade barriers. On my main channel I have a video on the whole story today. Great Britain is to a large extent dependent on the supply chains from Europe, according to Flach. But many transport companies from Europe stopped doing business in the UK after Brexit. In view of the constantly high transport demand in Europe, transport companies avoid the increasingly complicated UK transports, explains Frank Huster, General Manager of the DSLV Federal Association of Spedition and Logistics. With the Delta variant came the next blow to the economy, the so-called pingdemic, as the British media call it. In the second week of July alone, the British Corona warning app pinged around 620,000 people in England and Wales. This serves as a signal that they have to go into quarantine at home because they have been identified as contact persons. It is estimated that around 1.7 million Britons are currently self-isolating. In view of the continuing increase in the number of infections and the lifting of almost all corona measures in England, this problem is likely to worsen. The highly contagious Delta variant is causing the corona numbers to continue to rise despite the high vaccination rate in the United Kingdom, although right now they are falling, but everybody expects them to rise again. The 7-day incidence per 100,000 population was last at 267 as of July 26. The supermarkets lacked the staff to replenish the shelves, but the food itself could soon no longer be delivered. British farmers complain that truck drivers are missing to deliver the food to the traders. The National Farmers Union warned last week that food would have to be destroyed as a result of delivery problems. The staff shortage is also evident in the garbage collection and processes, and also they suffer in the industry. About every 10th worker is missing from the Nissan plant in Sunderland in England. The BBC reports that many stores are being forced to close, switch shifts or reduce opening times due to staff shortages. Some schools started their vacation earlier due to a lack of teachers. However, the British Economy Minister Kwasi Kwarteng warned of excessive alarmism. I don't want people to get the impression that every shelf in every supermarket is empty. That's not the case. But we are certainly concerned about the incidence of bottlenecks, and we are checking the supply chain of critical infrastructures, the BBC quotes him. The government now wants to counteract the shortage with quarantine exemptions for employees in the food industry. There is currently a weak point here, says IFO expert Flach. The UK relies heavily on global supply chains. The Brexit and the Delta variant pose major problems for the supply chains in Great Britain and thus the entire British economy. But Germany is no exception, emphasizes Flach. On the contrary, Germany is, in an international comparison, even more involved in global supply chains than Great Britain. So, could a similar increase in infections with the Delta variant, at the moment we are at an incidence of 14, so not now, but could that paralyze the German economy? According to a survey by the IFO Institute, almost half of the companies in Germany complain about difficulties with the delivery of intermediate products, admits the expert. In addition, rising raw material prices are already burdening German industries. And rising transport costs are also a burden on the economy. Growing demand is now facing a structural shortage of containers as well as shipping and air cargo space, which is putting supply chains under pressure, said DSLV Managing Director Huster, explaining the current price leaps. However, there are also reasons that speak against a development like the one in Great Britain. In Great Britain, there is a shortage of workers who can no longer or do not want to work in the country as a result of Brexit. Some of these workers who are lacking in Great Britain are likely to be in continental Europe. In addition, Germany did not loosen up as quickly as England did. While Boris Johnson's mantra is, when if not now, Germans have so far been driving on sight, and that with success. The number of infections is increasing much more slowly than in our neighboring countries. However, with increasing numbers of infections, Germany could gamble away its advantage with a highly infectious Delta variant. In addition, the supply chains in Germany are highly diversified, explains IFO expert Flach. That means dealers can also switch to other suppliers. Flach is therefore optimistic. The bottlenecks that we are currently observing in Germany are more of a temporary phenomenon, she says. Even Huster does not assume that the situation in Germany could develop in a similar way to that in Great Britain. The problems from England all resulted from factors that do not apply to Germany, such as Brexit, the major easing and the island situation. And I'll see you in my next video. Bis gleich.